Alright, what's up guys and gals? Danny Lightning here. Unfortunately, I've been having some, I had to completely reset my streaming software. We got Max the Gamer with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to him in just a minute. I got to make sure everything seems to be working, and then we will get this thing rolling. So Max, hang tight for just a second, please. We are almost ready to rock and roll. And, alright, everything looks good. Max, I am going to unmute you, so in just a second, when I say so, go ahead and talk, and then we're going to make sure you are ready to rock and roll. So, we got to unmute this one, right? Starting soon, okay. Alright, Max, go ahead and say something. Say hello. Let's see if this thing works.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Cool. It's working. So let me switch my headphones over to the other one so I can actually hear Max, and then we will get this thing started. I think we are pretty much ready to rock and roll. 1 second, guys. Give me just one more second because we are just about ready. So, okay. Come here, headphones. Oh my gosh. Alright. I think we're ready to rock and roll. I might need to turn this music down because it's too darn loud. We'll just probably go, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we won't have music today. I'm not sure because that's too loud. It's drowning out Max, but everything else seems to be good. So Max, can you hear me well? Max, are you there, buddy? Uh-oh. I think he's disappeared. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, how's everyone doing today? Hope you guys are doing awesome. Maybe Max had to step away for a second. I'm not sure. Let me try and get this.
I'm here.
Okay, there we go.
I'm letting you do your thing, man. Get it all together so we could get rolling. That's all.
All right. Let me get the camera adjusted really well, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. I don't need to be like huge on there. Okay. That should probably be pretty good right there, I think. Good enough for the day. I think we got everything sorted out. Now let me get the pop-up comments over here, pop-out chat. And this stream is pretty much ready to rock and roll. So I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm sorry for the inconveniences, guys and gals. Sometimes stuff happens that's not wonderful, but you know, it is what it is. So, yeah. We are ready to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Alright, so we're going to go do some live racing. I have this car set up in the 12.0 lobby. And, yeah. Let's go ahead and race. Sorry I didn't say hi to everybody, but everything's all discombobulated and messed up for the day. So, streaming software, it's going to be a problem. What I need to do is save a file. I need to save a file for it. So, next time it craps out, I can just put the file back in there and it resets everything for me. So, I'm going to figure out how to do that today because this is probably like the second time this year I've had to do this. And it sucks. Alright.
Yeah,
Stacks,
this is why I don't stream.
Yeah, streaming's a pain. Streaming is a pain.
I've had to rely on your technical expertise for it. I'm like, you know what? He'll set it up. I'll just hang out in there.
There you go. That definitely works, right?
Yeah.
All right, so hopefully everything is at a good level. Let me know if the game sounds too loud or anything like that. It should be right about where we need it to be, I do hope. So what's been going on, Max? So you haven't got the new garage organization thing yet, have you?
No, I'm left out in the cold on this new stuff. I don't know what it is. I mean, the only time I've gotten something kind of early was one of the updates from not long ago. I kind of got that one relatively early. But most of this new stuff, I'm the last to know. So, It's like natural motion knows and goes, nah, he doesn't need to know.
I think what it is they gave it to some people for beta testing. Because some people seem to have it, so I guess they're beta testers, right?
Yeah, and they get like a survey, I think, that asks them, what do you think? So I thought I saw someone already mentioning they got a survey about it.
Interesting. Yeah, you know, I've had some beta testing stuff in the past, but they never sent me a survey.
Huh. I mean, I've seen surveys, but it's hit or miss with that stuff. Sometimes it comes in and sometimes it doesn't, so... who knows? You know, their whole system is so randomized that half the time I don't even know what's going on.
All right, so Deanne says live chat does not appear to be working. So are you talking about the YouTube live chat? The YouTube live chat, nothing's changed with that. It was just my, you know, that's actually part of YouTube. So if it's not working for you, refresh your YouTube, maybe close the video and restart it. That's probably a problem on YouTube's end, or maybe your phone's being a little weird or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, sometimes things can be a little bit strange. All right, so I got the fan running, and it keeps opening and shutting my bedroom door. Oh, man. So if you hear I might have to get up and close that, because it's probably going to start, like, slamming and stuff in a minute. Because that's what it does. I don't know. When I got the exhaust fan running because it pulls the heat that the PC makes out. And then I got the window air conditioner going as well because PC heated up my room to about 80 degrees, so we're trying to cool her down really fast. I'm telling you, that's the one problem with gaming PCs is they will make your room crazy hot really fast.
Oh, without a doubt. It's like a little heater sitting next to you blowing out hot air.
I mean,
not a
someday,
bad thing in winter.
No, in the winter it's great, but in the summer not so much. But one day they're gonna find out a way to fix that, right? One day they will find out a way to fix that. They'll make like closed case PCs that have like built-in air conditioning inside the case or something. I don't know. I guess there's got to be. I mean, I guess there's got to be some way for the heat to escape, right? I mean, I don't know if you could do something like that.
Technically, you could, let's say, get a box with a single, exhaust vent in the back.
Yes.
And then run a hose to your window like you do with an air conditioner. And just have the heat blow straight outside. You could do that, but
I've seen that some people buy these. There's these little like greenhouse things you can buy for growing plants that have an exhaust hose, and I guess it's just like a little like clear box. And you can put it over top of your PC, and it does have a fan that blows all the exhaust out, and then you can run it out the window or something. So that is an option, but I'm not sure how good of an option that actually is.
I mean, if you don't mind having the vent in your window, that should be okay.
I mean, I guess the question is, though, how much hotter is that going to make your PC run? Because some of that heat's probably going to linger in there still, I would think. I could be wrong about that, but...
It's all airflow, right? If the fan is powerful enough and it's pulling the heat out, it actually, if anything, it may help it. That's like an extra cooling fan that's kicking in there. So I would think it would work pretty well. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, but
yeah, my dyno time is exactly 12.0, guys and gals. So we should be in the 12.0 lobby today. I think it just moved me, so I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing, but it just moved me somewhere, so. The game likes to bump your lobbies all the time.
Yeah, especially if you haven't used your car in a little bit.
Yeah.
You come back into lobby, it's going to try to reset you. Let me see, I'm going to pop in with my Jetta, see if I can find you.
Sounds good.
Nope, wrong lobby.
Uh-oh. Gotta love it.
Where I'm at first. Yeah, you gotta. So what I've noticed recently is within the lobby ranges, you gotta be careful. Like a 0.02 change in your dyno could put you in a slightly different grouping than your starting dyno. So if you're looking for Denny, don't be bumping your dyno by like a full tenth. Just bump it a little bit and see where it brings you. That's
all right, there we go. Pin message up there. 12.0 lobby. That's where we should be. Can't guarantee that's where we're at, but that's where we should be.
Yeah, if you're running 12.9, 13s on the swaps, you probably move to 12.1, 12.2 very quickly too. Plus, that little car may have some advantage, so that could put you at
Yeah.
12.3.
This little car seems to do very, very well at live, so it feels like it's got a really good lobby advantage most of the time. Let's see what time this bot runs, because it'll usually run about a second faster than whatever lobby you're in, I think, right?
Usually, yes. That's a good benchmark to kind of figure out where you are likely at. But don't forget, even within that lobby, you could have a few different groups of cars that you could land in. So, don't go crazy jumping around with your dyno. Just tweak it a little bit each way and see if it moves.
So he ran 12.9, so we're probably in
11.9. 11.9.
Yeah,
so you're probably in the proper lobby there for... let me see. So let me see if I can adjust my car to find you.
All right. Hot Dog says, that's a cute car. This is one of my favorite cars. It's actually a Fast and Furious car. And I kind of wonder, are we ever going to be able to get any of the Fast and Furious cars again? My guess is probably not. But it would be amazing if they did. I actually just saw an advertisement the other day for CSR2 on Google Play or whatever. And the crazy thing is, it was advertising the Fast and Furious cars. I'm like, huh. It showed the orange Supra with the neon lights running down the track and everything else. So I'm kind of wondering, did they actually lose the license? Because if they didn't have a license for those cars, would they still be running advertisements with those cars on there? Probably not, right? They could probably get in some trouble for that, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely get them in some trouble.
So they probably still do have the license for the Fast and Furious cars, so I don't know. There may or may not be another Fast and Furious event someday. I hope they do. Everybody seems to like those. Alright, so Flux says, dude, I try and beat Shax with my Hurricane Coupe, but now my Hurricane is Elite 2 now. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, my friend.
He probably Elite licensed it, and that will screw you up for...
No, because he's trying to beat Shax. You don't get to the Elite license till after Shax.
I mean, if he's putting Elite levels in, that can only help it. It can't hurt it.
So the question is, did you lose against Shax and now it's asking you to do the Elite license? Because when you race a boss, you only get one chance to beat the boss. And if you miss Shax, like if you race Shax and you lose, you're not going to get his car, which is a horrible piece of crap anyway. But you will, alright, you will start Tempest, and you do have to run the first Elite license before Tempest starts. So that might be what's going on there. So if you missed out on the Shax car, I would not worry about it one bit. I mean, it's nice to have it in your collection just for like a collector's piece, but it is a terrible, terrible, terrible car.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really miss Shax's car. Not that it's not nice to have it. I think the key here is everybody wants to collect it, but once you have it, you kind of look at it and go, ugh. Yeah, it's like, what did I do? Now, I've seen that being used in live racing. I guess some people still have some success with it, but generally speaking, I don't hold out a lot of hope for that car.
Yeah, I think you can live race it, but even when it's like maxed out or whatever, it's not going to earn a lot of RP. That's one of the other problems is it'll earn like, I don't know, like 400 or 600 RP or something. It's a very small amount, I've noticed, when you do win one.
Well, that's because it's technically a maxed car, right, in parts when you get it. So it just doesn't have that level of Evo and, I guess, upgrade in the system as a fully upgraded Purple Star Tier 5 car. It just doesn't seem to get RP because of it. Again, when they made this game, the original boss cars were just not very good. They've never been good. So
I'm surprised they don't revamp them. I'm surprised they don't buff those boss cars or something. Because you would think, the boss cars should be really good cars. They should be amazing cars because you gotta spend a lot of resources to get them. You gotta put in a lot of time, a lot of work, just to get some cars that really aren't that great. So, I mean, They really should revamp those cars, just rework the boss cars and make them at least decent cars, you know?
Yeah. But you know what happens is, look what happened when they revamped the Regera, which is one of the cars you get to race in Tempest as one of the opponents, right? When they buffed it, everything in the game relating to that car got buffed. And then it throws off the challenge for players coming to try to beat Harkness. Because what used to be like a 12-second boss run, I mean, not a boss run, but that car would run 12. All of a sudden, after they buffed it, now that car runs like 10s
Yeah.
or 9s. And then people are just not ready for it at that point in the in the event. You're thinking, okay, the last guy ran 14, the next guy's going to run 13 or whatever, and boom, this guy runs a 10. You're like, what the heck? So people were getting stuck because of it. So I think that's part of the reason they can't buff the boss cars without screwing up everything else in the game. Because then your Shaq's challenge will no longer be whatever second he runs. He's going to run like a 9. And the new players will be like, I'll never get to that. So I think that's why they left it alone. That's my theory on that anyway.
Alright, so Flux, you can install stage 6 parts on your car. So the first thing is you have to get the car up to stage 5 upgrades. And then after that, you have to be able to acquire the stage 6 parts before you can put it on it. So get the car up to stage 5. One thing you can do if you're trying to use the Lamborghini Huracan, which is, it's a great starter car, but it's not a good car overall. But you can buy and strip more Huracans, and every time you strip one, you know, if you buy it and strip it, it's going to drop parts. Sometimes it will drop stage 6 parts. Or if you have bronze keys, you can go into Rare Imports, click on the Parts tab, and get keys for, or open crates for whatever car you're currently driving, and that'll give you parts for that car. So that's how you can get stage 6 for that car. But if you get the Toyota Supra, right, the Toyota Supra is a great car for Tempest and stuff. And another thing you got to remember is once you make a car elite, that particular car will no longer be able to do any more Tempest events. And after you make a car elite, it's going to get a good respect point bonus when you win live racing. So you really want to make good live racing cars elite for the bonus, especially on tier 5, because that's probably what you're going to live race the most. So there's a lot of things you need to think about before choosing which car to make elite and all that good stuff. Now it took me almost a year from the time I started playing to the time I finished the 3rd Tempest. It was probably 8 or 9 months into the game, so it's not something you need to really rush through. Most of the boss cars are junk anyways. I think the best thing about Tempest is actually being able to make good live racing cars elite, so that's just something you want to think about there.
Right, but for most of you guys that are newer, one of the starting concerns is getting through the rest of the events, right? So
Yes.
it becomes a really tough choice. I hear a lot of guys tell me when I recommend the Supra for the event, I said, look, the Toyota Supra, GR Supra, you're going to build it, you're going to elite it, it's going to blow through the whole 3 Tempests. And they go, oh, I elite licensed it for my first elite license. I go, oh. Because now they don't have a car.
Yeah.
You're almost better off leaving that car not elite licensed until you get to Tempest 3. Then you figure out if you need it elite licensed because you have something else already. It's a good car all around, but the truth is most people kill it. So in live racing, it's not the top car for many players in the long run. But it is used a lot in various showdowns. It is used in... it's great for Tempest. It's great for a lot of map stuff like the weekly Elite Cup. Once you get that body kit on it, that's your weekly Elite Cup car. So don't Elite license that Supra too early. Try to hold off. The other one I recommend you not to jump on Elite licensing for newer players, the 250 GTO. That Ferrari is great in live racing, but it is also great for Tempest 3 Tier 2 once you get stage 6 tires. So you don't want to elite license that and lock yourself out of that part of Tempest. Because Tier 2 cars are actually harder to find a good one for Tempest than it is for Tier 5.
Yeah, the GR Supra, that is one car... Oops, sorry, Max.
No, go ahead.
The GR Supra is one car I would love to elite, but Max is right. You should at least use that to beat the first 2 bosses on Tempest, and when you get to Tempest 3, you can decide if you want to make that car elite or elite something different. But like the cars in the game that make the most respect points would be the McLaren F1 that makes more respect points than anything in the game, so that's a really good car to elite. And the GR Supra is also one of the cars that are going to make more once you get all the Elite Tuners bonuses and stuff onto it. And it's just a really good car at everything. So when you get the GR Supra, that is a car you definitely want to focus on maxing out if possible. It's just overall really, really nice. It's not one of the better cars in the game, but it's a car that's actually good at almost everything. So it's one of my favorite cars. Even though there are better cars, you know, there are cars that might beat it at acceleration. There might be faster cars, cars with better top speed. Not every car in the game is good at everything, and that car does everything well.
Yep. The thing about it's a well-rounded car, but the problem with it, of course, is, you know, it beats Dyno very easily. And most players, newer particularly, have very poor feel for how to slow a car down in live racing. So you're going to run it all out. Each time you run it all out, you're beating Dyno by about 0.2. And the computer that's monitoring live racing is going to keep bumping you by 0.2 into faster lobbies. Eventually, and this is why I don't see a lot of GR Supras in live, is because everybody's like, well, that car's no good for live. I go in there and people are running faster than me. Well, yeah, of course, you bumped into a faster lobby by 0.2. You're not going to win. And that's a reality that people have to be aware of when you race live in this game. Some self-control is actually very helpful to you long term.
You kind of gotta speed control. You kind of gotta walk on eggshells with beating the lobby times or beating the dyno times with your live racers. I mean, there's some ways you can do it and not get bumped, but you know, you generally want to find live racers that you can win live races with that don't beat the dyno, because you want them to stay in the same lobby all the time. That's going to make life much easier. When you're using a dyno beating car or running faster than the lobby and it gets bumped, it can be a real major pain to reset it back to the lobby that it should be in. So you got to watch out for that.
And you know what? I know people are learning this because recently I was in live quite a bit against newer players, and what I saw them doing, and this is something I always recommended, is they're losing to me, right? So I can see they're not catching up, and they know they're not catching up. And what do? They slow down. I said, hey, that's smart, because now you're guaranteed not to bump your car. Not only that, you may actually bump yourself slowly into a slower lobby where you're more competitive. So that's a smart move, and I'm pretty sure they watch your YouTube, or somebody's video's been telling them slow down, and they're learning it. Even if you're winning, you don't want to go all out unless the margin's too tight. But if you're half a track ahead of the guy, there's no reason for you to run through full blown. It just doesn't make any sense. But if you're losing anyway, it doesn't pay to keep pushing. Just slow down a little bit and hope the other guy ran too fast, which in many races, that is the case. So it pays to slow down in this game, in live particularly. Not in any other kind of thing. Like in events and showdown, just go all out. But in live racing, you have to control it.
Ziotic, are you asking about the Hoonigan Indy truck or the actual Indy car? I mean, I think either one of those has good enough. Those are tier 5 cars. Both of those should have more than good enough acceleration for Tempest. But I assume you're talking about the tier 5 Indy car or Indy truck, right? Yeah, the Indy truck. Yeah, that should be able to beat Tempest no problem if you have enough parts on it.
So that's kind of the rub with a lot of these, right? Getting enough parts. You know what can beat that Tempest 3 really easily right now at tier 5? At stage 5 is the Pagani, the Utopia. That's an 8.1 car, basically. Well, maybe not at stage 5 only. You probably need stage 6 to push into the 7s. What does Harkness run again? I thought it was 8 point something, but
Harkness, Harkness is like 12 something, I think, or 11 something. Are you talking about Harkness? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Shax.
Tempest 3 boss.
Yeah.
3 boss.
I believe last time I looked, I think it was still in the 8s. pretty
All right,
sure.
so if he runs, I think he runs 8.2, so that's what I remembered. But I usually recommend, wow, 9.0, he's that slow? That's really slow. So Michikatsu says he's 9.079. So that's nothing. I mean, you can whoop on him with the Utopia stage 5 only with fusions, of course. Because that Utopia is 8.1 car stage 5 only. That thing's quick. So for Tempest 3 Tier 5, what I recommend people to look for are cars that work that way, like the Utopia. The GR Supra would destroy that by that point, usually with elite level 20s and full fusion, full stage 6, it'll crush it. There are a lot of cars. So Tier 5 is technically the easiest tier to win for Tempest 3.
Oh, yeah.
But because you don't have 0 to 60 either, it's all 0 to 100. So that's not even that challenging for Tier 5 cars.
Yeah, the speed trap's not that hard. The 0 to 100 time is not that hard. I mean, most Tier 5 cars can do it easily as long as you have a decent amount of parts installed on them, so...
Yeah, the fusions too. I mean, the problem is you can have all the stage 6s installed. If you don't have any epic fusions and you're missing stuff, it may still be very slow. So the stage 6s are great because they give you extra fusion slots. That's where you're really making the points. Not so much the stage 6 by itself is going to give you a lot of improvement, right? If you put a stage 6 in and you don't add any fusions, it may only drop your performance by like 0.01. Or 0.05 or 0.1 at most. But once you put those fusions in, like for the Cobra jet, you drop like almost a second. So you have to understand that fusions is just as important as the stage 6 itself. In fact, if I don't have the fusions for a stage 6, I generally don't install it because it's kind of not helpful.
Zylox is going to use the RS7 Outback for a Tier 4 and RS3 Performance Edition for Tier 3. Alright, so the RS7s, I don't believe those have the 0 to 60 times you need. They got crazy good top speed, but if I remember correctly, they have very slow acceleration, don't they?
They're tricky to accelerate because you have to skip to like 4th or 5th gear, so 0 to 60 probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that car can do it.
I had a list on Facebook of all the easy ones that can do it. You know what can do it for sure is that Z33 Rocket Bunny 370. So that one does it. If any, I think a lot of us have that too. It was just offered again recently, if I remember correctly, that Z33 Rocket Bunny. That will do the whole thing, but you have to, I think, have it close to maxed.
Yeah, you got to remember the 0 to 60 is something like 1.34 or 1.37. I can't remember the exact number, but it's in the 1.3s. So you got to have a really fast acceleration on that Tier 4 car to beat Tempest 3 Tier 4.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Horse at one point was before they nerfed it was the Dark House. That it was so good that I basically made a video saying you could destroy Donna with it without even trying, but they nerfed it right after I made the video, so you got to be careful with that. I would recheck that car at some point. Maybe I should recheck that car now while I'm talking about it.
I need to pee.
You go do your thing, man. Just don't fall in. And I'm gonna pull up the Dark Horse on my side and do some quick testing again to see if it's still viable.
Where's my streaming software?
Tempest.
Oh, there it is. Hold on a second. Be right back. Okay. Max will keep you guys occupied while I'm gone for a minute. Yeah, when I get nervous, I gotta pee a lot. And the streaming software messed up and it's got me all, I don't know, I think it's an anxiety thing. Anxiety makes you pee.
Cold weather makes me go. Like I run out into the cold, I'm like, oh man, now I gotta go. So, but yeah, everybody's affected differently. But anxiety definitely will do it. So anyway, so let's talk about the Dark Horse, right? So at one point, the Dark Horse at, stage 5, not even, could easily beat all the Tempest 3 Tier 4 challenges. I think it's still a good one, even nerfed, for Tempest 3 or Tempest 2. But let me pull it up. I'm going to pull up Nitro's account to use it real quick to test the So yeah, they nerfed it really a lot. It was good at live. It was good at other things. So yeah, Tracy, I didn't forget that. So want to kind of throw a little ad out there. My crew is currently short 2 players. So if anybody wants to join a crew and chat basically all the time with me, because I'm always in there blabbering away. The Helena Hitman, which is one of my crews that I'm always with, we have 2 spots, 750K minimum. We need you to do the weekly Elite Cup. We need you to try to play daily so you can hit all the crew cups and other things. And basically, don't activate the wild card, and we'll be happy to have you. So if you think you're ready for that, just let me know. And I'm in the middle of pulling up the Dark Horse still. Loading this game takes a while, as you all know, depending on the device, of course. Some of you guys have that wonderful iOS device that loads everything instantly. I got the nice slow Droid, so I gotta be patient. So yeah, I mean, I think the new guys that joined us recently can attest to the fact that we're a well-organized crew. We're not we don't pursue top 10 or anything like that. We're not about that. We're all about having fun. We're all about learning how to tune, learning some of the stuff that I always kind of teach you guys on YouTube videos. Having fun. That's what it comes down to. So we do like to see people try to do more than just minimum, though. I mean, that's always kind of a sore point in any crew. But our minimum to start is 750, and we'll help you get there. Like, if you're at least past Shacks, you're at least ranked 60 to 75 range with a few cars and some silver keys saved up, you should have no real issue getting 750K crew points a season. Not personal RP is a little different, but crew points should be relatively easy. So yeah, if you're interested, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. We use Messenger for chat, so you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. My name on Facebook is Max Jin, Max Jin, with a crazy looking German Shepherd as my profile picture. And we have other other people. Corey is also in Millen. You can reach out to Millen. He'll let me know, and we can get you in. So, yep, 2 spots. And we do have very rare turnovers. I mean, recently we had a few, but sometimes we don't have any for a while. I hit about 1.5 million on average. Some days, like some seasons, I'm like motivated, and I'll hit like 2 point something. And I think my lowest recent season was like 1.2. So, depending on how I'm feeling, really. But as a crew, we tend to hit 35 million pretty steadily. My God, it's taking forever to load this account. All right, hold on. Let me try to reload this thing. Well, Comet, I know you can definitely hit our minimum. So if you're looking for options, we got a spot. Our turnovers happen very rarely, to be honest. I know you guys often in the past got on here and asked, "Hey, can I join your crew?" And I would say, "No, we're full." That's because that's the case a lot with our crew. People don't generally leave us unless something really crazy happens. So, and recently we had one member develop some serious health issues, and he decided not to play anymore, which is unfortunate. But
yep, when you have a good crew, people don't leave that often. That's one thing.
Yeah, and I think again we got quite a few newer guys that joined through this stream to our crew recently, and they can definitely attest to the fact that how we run the crew and how things are in there. We're not out to get you. We're not out to whip you into shape or anything. It's all about enjoying the game and learning about the game. So
I think generally the only time people that leave my crew is like when they decide to quit the game. Then they take off. But I mean, we've had so many people that have been there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, our main guys, you know, are there for like 8 years. So the crew leader, myself, and 2 or 3 others are well over 7 years. Yeah, so the crew's been around forever too. We didn't last this long by just doing stupid stuff.
So Cordell, as far as Tempest, you have Tempest 1, Tempest 2, and Tempest 3, and that's it. Tempest races are now over. The coming soon thing, that's been on the map for years. Like, if you're seeing that, I believe that's a glitch. Like, it kind of pops up every once in a while and then it disappears. But Tempest 4 and the storyline races for the next thing, we don't think they're ever actually going to come out. So once you finish Tempest 3, I mean, you basically got your Tempest 1, Tempest 2, Tempest 3, then you got Legends, Elite Tuners, and stuff like that. But once you're done with Tempest 3, that's it for the Tempest events.
Yeah, Tempest 3 is, you know, we've been waiting for Tempest 4 for how many years?
6 years? 7 years? Something like that.
Yeah. Legend has it that there was a Tempest 4 in development for many years. But it's still like the many mysteries of the world. It's still not quite there yet. And nobody has discovered Tempest 4.
What doesn't make sense is they can make a brand new event, like they can put 12 events up in one day, but you know, how hard is it to make a Tempest, right? Is it really that hard? Is it really that time consuming? I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like they should be able to get a new Tempest up pretty quickly.
They don't have any motivation to. That's the point. Tempest does not make them any money, and they've been under so much pressure to make money ever since whoever bought them, Zanga first. Now it's Take-Two. Each new boss that they get invested hundreds of millions into this purchase, and naturally they want their money back as quickly as possible, right? So that's really the issue here, is that Tempest is not a priority, and they might have even had some development into it and then put it aside because the programmers can only be worked so hard. At some point you're going to get a revolt if you force them to build something or put together something that doesn't make money, and force them to work hours and hours programming it. So I'm not surprised.
I think a lot of mobile games are worried about making the money now when they should really be worried about the long run. I mean, for example, this game has been out for what, 8 years now? War Robots has been out for 10 years. I mean, there's a lot of games that have been surviving for years and years and years. And if you set up the games correctly and you're able to keep long-term players and keep all your players happy, I mean, that's potential players that are just going to be buying stuff year after year after year after year. But if you set up things wrong and you make the players unhappy and they leave, that's a lot of revenue you've lost. So I think a lot of these games should be looking at the long run and just not the now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my Patriarch, somebody asked about my Patriarch. Yes, I maxed it using the bronze keys. I was only missing 2 stage 6s anyway. And so it's not a difficult thing to just pump a few bronze keys in and get it done. I was being a little impatient about it, but so that's why I have it maxed now. Not that car's worth necessarily to max. It's just that it's rare to have an opportunity to max out a purple star car with bronze keys. So when you have it, you use it. Otherwise, the next time the event comes along, it might be a paid crate again, and I don't want to deal with it. So
what they could do is make
the Patriarch for that Mustang event, Danny.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think I realized that.
The crates stay as bronze key crates. I was like, woohoo!
Yeah, that's awesome, actually.
Yeah, it works out great. So we're not online, and we are on Discord now, but that's not our primary chat. We do require you to at least have Messenger. Don't forget, Facebook Messenger does not require you to have a Facebook account. Okay, you can just make a Facebook Messenger account for the purpose of chatting with us. My Discord channel is what we use now for our crew chat in Discord, but again, not everybody's in there. We're not always on there, so keep that in mind.
All right, so Deanne says he looked it up, and Natural Motion through Zynga clears 2.3 million in profit. Yeah, I don't really know what else Natural Motion does, but I know Zynga is now owned by Take-Two Gaming, which is the same company that makes Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff. And,
yeah, well, Take-Two bought out Zynga, so...
Yeah. But I'm not really sure how many different games they have. I mean, it's probably redonkulous how many games this company actually has. I kind of wonder why they have like two companies. Why do they have Take-Two and Rockstar? Why not just have Rockstar? I wonder what the benefit of having the sister companies is. Is that like a tax break or?
No, there's all kinds of reasons for that business standpoint. One is that most of these studios, like Rockstar, is its own little studio that the primary company basically bought them in over time. So there's no reason for you to shut down a corporation if they already exist. So they become like an umbrella situation. Take-Two stands over maybe 20 different small companies that used to be their own independent publishers of software. There's definitely tax and liability incentives to do it that way. So, when you run a company that's big enough, you don't want everything under one, all your eggs in one basket is never a smart thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for liability standpoint, in real estate, when we talk to investors for real estate, we tell them every property you buy, form a new company. So, my clients would have 10 properties, but they would have 10 separate companies, one property under each company. Sure, your accountant hates you, but that's what you pay them for, right?
Oh, does Zynga own Candy Crush?
Yes, they do they? I know they own there was Farm something like
Farmville, yeah.
Farmville. That was one of their biggest money makers.
Well,
you think this game makes money?
If they actually own Candy Crush, they're making a killing because that's one of like the top earning games of all time on mobile.
Yeah, that's a huge...
I'm not sure why people like that, but hey, whatever. Each their own,
A quick Google search would verify to us whether Zynga owns Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Except right now I'm looking at the Mustang Dark Horse, so I'm a little busy.
Gilbert says, Max, are you a real estate... Where'd it go? A real estate broker?
I had a broker license. I gave it up, but now I don't. I don't have a broker license.
What's up, Z's? How you doing?
I was a real estate broker for a while. Yes. So I know a little something about real estate. All right, so let me take a look at the current Dark Horse. Oof, they really killed it. Jesus. Oh no, they didn't kill it that bad. It's still a 9.4 second car. So
it's actually a good car still, honestly.
Yeah, fully maxed, it'll have no problem beating Tempest. But let me see if we can do it without being fully maxed.
It seems to have a nice live racing setup as well, even after the change. So it's a good car.
Even after the change. Before it was OP. I mean, before it was overpowered. It was just insane. Yes. And they realized that probably. It's like, ooh, what did we do? That should have been a tier 5 car. We made it a tier 4, so let's nerf it really fast. Let me see here.
William D says, no, he's a professor of CSR2. Max the professor.
I mean, I used to teach karate to kids, so I guess I developed this pattern of how I talk to people when I'm trying to teach them something. So I have this habit of sounding, I guess, a little bit like a teacher. And not to mention, one of my best friends is a history teacher too. So
So
All right,
here's
so
something
stage
to
5 is not as good.
here's something to think about as far as like Candy Crush and how they can have the cheap purchases. That game has millions and millions and millions and millions of players. I mean, that's like there's like moms playing it, little kids, dads. It's got way more of a player base than a game like this. So, I mean, I think if this game had the player base of Candy Crush, yeah, they could charge you like $2 for a car and make a killing. But I'm sure
Well,
the
this game
prices
doesn't.
could come down on this. I'm assuming they're still like charging more than they need to for these cars and stuff. But how
You
many
know what they
players you
could
have?
do,
What's
Danny,
that?
to make a lot of money? You know what they could do that they would make tons of money?
Sell paint jobs?
Uh, nah, of course that helps too, but sell universal fusions for real money.
Yeah.
People would gobble them up. If you sell them for like $1.50 for an epic, dollar or 75 cents for a green, people buy them. You'd be surprised. I mean,
Then you might not buy the race pass, and you might not open crates anymore and buy keys. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, the keys. I don't know how many keys they sell. Quite honestly, I'm sure they sell plenty, but
They're
I would think,
overpriced.
for all their stuff's overpriced. But
The keys are crazy expensive, man. It's like what, $45 or something just to get enough keys to guarantee you get the Prestige Cup car.
yeah. Well, let's put it this way: if they want to keep the race pass strong, right? What they do is they say if those who buy race pass can now have access to buying those universal fusions for additional cash, $2 $2.50 an epic. You'd be surprised how many people it's going to end up buying it. Because
Yeah,
the people
that's
that
actually
pay for race
good
pass are the
idea.
ones that want the universal stuff anyway. I mean, if I was the guy behind the money, that's how I would do it. But I'm not.
There's some CEO sitting in an office somewhere or hanging on the yacht, FaceTiming people saying, do this, do this, do this. And then the developers are like, hey, but what if I said, do this, jerk. Listen to what I say. But if we did this might happen. What did I tell you? Do this. I can just see this big, nasty CEO guy just bullying everybody and bossing him around. And the developers got to do whatever he says,
Yeah. Quiet, peasant.
Yeah.
Do as I say. Well,
Respect my authority.
What's one of the more interesting article recently came from a discussion Larry and some other developers that have been really successful with their games. They're saying that marketing's dead for video games because players know what they want. Okay, you could try to market us all you want. We know what we want. And if we see a crappy game, you can market the crap out of the game, and people are gonna go online and go, "Don't play it." So Larian, which made Baldur's Gate 3, and it's a huge success, and the other developer who made Helldivers 2, which is also a huge success, they didn't really market. What they did is they did almost like a follow up as people play kind of thing, what they call early access, and they learned what the players really wanted, and they did it. And look how successful their games are. They said the old marketing system was more for like box stores, like trying to sell stuff out of Best Buy.
Yeah.
Where do you get stuff on the shelf and how to... They said that's dead. I mean, kids nowadays and young people nowadays don't bother with that, right? They go right online and ask. So if you have a lousy Steam rating, your game's done. That's basically how it works.
What's my favorite Porsche? You mean in the game or just like in general? In real life, any type of 911, I love them all. I love 911s. But in game, probably the little Boxster, honestly. That's probably one of my favorite Porsches in this game. That or the Huna Pegasus.
Tarkov is the recent. Yeah, I mean, you could if you don't do things right nowadays, the competition will eat you alive. I mean, everything's online. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you can't just try to, how would I put it, sugarcoat it for people anymore. You can't get away with that. It's either going to be good or people are going to know it sucks.
You know, I feel like a lot of stores actually kind of messed up by only carrying certain items online. Like for example, when I
Yeah.
was younger, I used to go to down to Best Buy once or twice a week just to look around. They had so much music. They had great selection of this, great selection of that. And I mean, even Walmart, Best Buy, all these stores. And eventually they started, well, let's just stop carrying this item in the store and make it online only. And this was before online shopping got really big. This is when it was just kind of starting to become more popular, I guess you would say. And I'm just at the point where, you know, I used to go to Best Buy and shop there constantly. I would buy CDs, I would buy stereo equipment. I mean, and it got to the point where I would go down to Best Buy and it's like, okay, they don't have any more stereo equipment that's worth a darn. They just got these cheap things for like kids, you know, like somebody that doesn't really care about audio anymore. The CD section shrunk down. It's just like, why bother come here and shop anymore when I have to buy it online? And why shop at Best Buy online when I can just go to Amazon and get it for cheaper with free same day or 2-day shipping, right? I think a lot of these stores made some big mistakes by not carrying stuff in store because, dude, I would much rather just go down to the store, buy the item and take it home the same day compared to have to order it online and wait a couple days. I mean, it's more convenient, sure, but there's some times where you're just like, I want to go get this now, and then the stores don't even have it. So I think a lot of stores lost a lot of business to places like Amazon because they stopped carrying a lot of stuff in store, and Amazon always had the better shipping and cheaper prices and a lot of yada yada. So I think that was a big mistake for them to start doing that, in my opinion. But
Well,
what do I know?
The statistics are out there. I mean, there are companies that monitor all that. So what we consider mistakes, their numbers may contradict what we think, right? So
Yeah,
common
maybe.
sense from a layperson like us versus what they see on their end could be completely different. But anyway, back to the game point. I answered in chat, but Rockstar guy asked, does the T2 Boxer need stage 6 parts for Tempest 3? Absolutely. In fact, it needs a lot of them.
Yeah.
You don't need it for transmission and engine because trans is stage 5 only that you need. You never upgrade to stage 6. It actually slows the car down, and engine stays stock. But you need basically all the rest of the stage 6s to be successful.
Yeah, you need 5 out of the 7.
Yeah, to be sure. You could probably squeeze through if you're missing one of the other ones, but not nitrous and tire critical for both of the 2 challenges. One for sprint and one is for the speed trap. I have a video on that, an old video that shows you all the settings, but the Boxster S is not the top choice anymore. It is still the easy access choice for the one I recommend now very strongly is the 250 GTO. You just need tires S6 to make it through Tempest 3. You blow away Tempest 1 and 2 without any stage 6. That's a good car, but too many people you license it right away and lock it out. So I think that's a mistake, but that's, that's just my position on that. What does Donna run? 11.4, right? In the final challenge?
I don't know. I'd have to look up I'd have to find my sheet because my memory sucks.
I'm pretty sure it's like 11.3 or 11.4. I remember it was in the 11s. For the F50, yes, comment. For the F50.
Let me pull that up really quick. Let me find that information out.
Twelve for it. Oh man, I'm like, I'm giving her too much credit here. She's really slow. Okay, so, all right. So the good news, guys, is the Mustang Dark Horse nerfed should, without a doubt, still be able to beat Donna's challenges at stage 5 only.
Well, I've got Donna at 12.397.
12.397, whatever. Your car, so 12.397, 12.4 is pretty close, Steady. Pretty close. I'd call it 12.4.
Yeah.
But so basically, here's the rundown. Her toughest challenge for people is that sprint, as you mentioned, right? And the 260 mile per hour, which is now easy for most tier 4 cars. So Yeah, if she only runs 12.4, that's very easy actually. So
Yeah, I think it's the 0 to 60 that gets most of the tier 4 cars that can't do it.
the new ones, yes, the new ones are all faster, but they don't sprint. The old ones like the GTR, the premium GTR, yeah, that thing will do like 1.1s pretty easily. So the sprint is the tough one for new cars, and the speed traps were the issue for the older cars. And very few has a problem running 12s anymore. I mean, we're looking all 9.4 second tier 4 cars nowadays. So okay, so back to the Dark Horse. I'm looking at the screen on the Dark Horse at stage 5 only. I just did a run with a basic no adjustment settings. Okay, I'm not even trying for the best here. The dyno says I can do 1.40 to 60 at stage 5 only. I can do 2.517 0 to 100, 10.777 half mile, and 260 mile per hour is where I tuned it to, half mile. So when I actually run it, you get the needle drop, instant nitrous, and I'll give you the numbers in a second. Okay, it's loading up now. And I know I just beat all the requirements really easily. Whoops. All right, now I did not beat the requirements because I forgot I turned off the launch button. Hold on. I messed up. Yeah, the sprint's the toughest thing nowadays. Okay, so I screwed that up. Let me run it again. There was no point in nerfing the Dark. Well, there is a point. I mean, it was a little too powerful all around. It was beating Donna at like stage 3 or 4. I gotta stop talking while I'm trying to test this thing because I just messed up the launch again. I'm so used to having a launch button that I just don't. I'm not used to dropping the needle. Like I just hit the button, and then I did it again, and I launched the like red line again. So hold on, one more time. Bear with me. I mean, it's still decent in live. I see it in live. People use it. It's a little trickier to tune, but it's definitely not a bad car.
I'm racing the Shax car.
There we go. If you get beat by Shax, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Oh, I'm gonna let him win. I don't know if this is one of you guys, but if somebody's in the Shax car, I am gonna let them win the race because if that's like a random person, you know, it's nice to give somebody a win every time when they're in a terrible car.
You're being too nice. I would have no mercy. Not against Shax.
It might be like a new player. It could be like a new guy.
From when I have to raise him.
Oh my god, he wants to bet me money now. Alright, I'm not going to bet him because he probably thinks he just actually won. Alright. Yeah.
He's obviously... Or he's giving you a thank you 10K.
Well, that could have been. That could have been. I just don't want to take advantage of somebody in the Shax car just in case they're a new player, you know what I mean?
You know, I don't always think like this, but sometimes people raise against me after I kind of let them win the race, and then mentally I'm kind of going, what's that movie line? It's like it's a funny movie. Now the movie name is escaping me now, but the line is, "Don't mind if I do."
So that Rockstar guy wants to know if Finn's car can actually beat Tempest. Finn's car runs about... Let me find that really quickly. That's a nice little car. That's a tier 2 car, isn't it? Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's a tier 2.
Trying to race and look up the times at the same time is a pain in the butt.
Alright, so while you're talking about that, let me talk about the 0 to 60 for the Dark Horse. 1.329 is what I just ran. Needle drop, instant nitrous, 1.329 0 to 60. 2.40 to 100, 10.79, and then of course I used nitrous early, so I didn't get the mile per hour exactly. 259.798, but if you just use nitrous in third gear, you would get 260 plus. So So the Dark Horse, without any stage 6, will still beat Donna, and shouldn't have much problem doing it either at lower upgrades. You just, drop off the intake, not intake, drop off engine first, drop some tire first because you don't need to sprint so fast, and then keep the strong parts like oh my god, I just hit the launch button again. Keep the strong stage 6s like stage 5s like the body, transmission, those kind of things. If you're shooting for speed trap, obviously keep engine in, drop a little bit out of intake and turbo, or drop a lot out of tire. Don't forget, you can run tire stock for speed traps because you're not hitting the nitrous until you're in higher gear anyway. So
I just
to make
disconnect
that
it from the
PP
servers.
limit. Oof. It happened to me a few times yesterday.
So Finn's runs about a 9.3, 9.4, so that should be pretty good, actually. That should do the job pretty well. If you max it out, that is. Maxed out, it should be okay, or almost maxed out. But you're going to have to get it pretty close to maxed.
Yep.
Actually, I need to pee again before I go back into the live racing. I'm telling you, man. I'm still stressed out about the streaming software messing up earlier. That makes me pee. Stress and anxiety make people pee. So yeah, be right back. See you guys in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, so to hit 260 in the Dark Horse is pretty easy. I'm able to just use nitrous in a later gear and hit like 263. And I'm not fine tuning at all. I'm just like, I basically threw the final drive at 2.2, 0-100 tire, 2.0 nitrous. I didn't even try to increase nitrous duration. So, yeah, Dark Horse, if you got it, it's a good option. Maybe I'll make another video for it. I mean, my last video, if it's still up, I thought I took it down, but if it's still up, it might be giving people the wrong impression about how good it is. It doesn't stink for Tempest now. It's just not as good as it was, right? Oh, I'm not going to show my face. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. I'm like that mysterious magician guy. Even if I show my face, I'll be wearing a mask. You won't see me. I'll be on there with like a Fallout Boy mask. Was it the not the Fall Boy? What's that thing called? Anybody watch Fallout 4? The thumbs up guy, incognito. So, there is no tornado warning in my state. I know Ohio's been getting them. I'm in Pennsylvania, so at least I don't think I have a tornado warning. I'm looking right now. Yeah, Oklahoma's been getting them, but that's Oklahoma. No warnings for me. No, I'm good. Charlie of Charlie's Angels. Yeah, I'm the guy that comes over the radio. Oh yeah, that's right. I sent you that racing picture of me with the helmet on. Anyway, everybody see my dog though, so that's the face of my Facebook page too. My doggy. All right. So, Kobo, yeah, Kobo is a great tier 5 card. In fact, the Cobra Jet, if you guys got the Cobra Jet, that should destroy Tempest 3 tier 5 as well. The Cobra Jet sprints fast and destroys everything, so it's not difficult to get through with. Like I said, I think Tempest 3 tier 5 really shouldn't be that hard for most players. Although, if you don't have fusions, it could be difficult. But Ford, I like because you can get fusions from a tier 1 car and a tier 3 car on top of the bronze heat crates. So you should be able to get fusions for Ford. And if you never finish that Performance Ford event, like I always tell people not to finish, you'll forever be getting Ford Fusions. So,
it's weird saying Ford Fusions because there's a Ford that's called the Fusion.
no, yeah, I think it's discontinued. It's gone
I
now.
think you're right.
Yeah. Oh no, I did not make a take on the turbo. Is that a new one that already popped up on the screen? The Turbo Tails event?
Yeah, is that on the screen?
I didn't see it on my screen yet. Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Is that the next 90s Rewind event?
Yeah, the Porsche one. Yeah.
It's already up?
It's already up. Yeah.
Holy crap. What are the lock-ins? That's crazy.
Jesus. Well, I got both lock-ins maxed, so that should be easy.
Oh, so it's only 2 lock-ins?
2 lock-ins, yep.
All right, so it's a duality
911 GT3 RS 992 is one option. 911 GT3 RS Carrera RS 2.7 Tribute 992 is the other option. Oh,
that's too long of a name.
And then the 718 Cayman GT4 RS We Suck package. Yes, that's the other one. That's a milestone car, so I know we have that, and I have the other one. Maybe the We Suck I don't have it max, but the other one, I know I'm mispronouncing it on purpose. But you know, it's an ongoing joke between Danny and I that it's the We Suck package. At least in this game, it is, because every WSIC package car has been the sucky car.
Unfortunately, yes.
There hasn't been a single good WSIC package Porsche in this game.
This game doesn't seem to like Porsche in general for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a developer bias of some sort. I can't imagine they cannot program in a nice Porsche. It just doesn't make sense to me. But and you know, Porsche fans are some of the most diehard fans in the world. So
yeah, I wonder how they determine which cars are going to be good and which cars are going to be bad. Is it like, does the company have to be like, we'll give you a discount on the license if you make our cars good? How does that work, right?
I have a feeling that could be why Ferraris and Porsches are not good in this game, because they probably charge Natural Motion a lot of money. And,
the way Ferrari is, I would not be surprised. Like Ferrari, they're like the most stuck up. That's just. I think that's a terrible company, actually. Ferrari.
I mean, it's an image thing, right? So, I kind of understand why they do what they do, because they're very anal about their image. But this is why I like Koenigsegg, because the guy doesn't come across as snobbish. The guy's making cars that are, you know, world-renowned hypercars, but
yeah,
seems like a really cool dude. I would totally have a beer with that guy. And not
when you buy a car from him. When you buy a car and you own it, you should be able to do anything you want with that car from there on out. And Ferrari is like, nope. If you repaint it or you do this or you do that, we're going to come take your car back. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, see, the thing about these this 90s throwback, the 90s rewind event, it's almost like, you know, throwback to the oldies for players event, because they're using cars that only really players who have played a long time would have. I noticed that Sky's the Limit just said that he didn't have either of the cars. That's because both these cars, well, the new one, the GT4 RS you might want to search for, because that was a more recent milestone. But the 911 GT3 RS 992 goes back maybe a year or so. I think it's neither one of these cars are super old though. So you guys should have it. But those Fords and stuff, you know, for that first leg, there were a lot of old cars. So I understand. Oh, it's a duality one from the Taycan. That's what it is. Okay. Thanks for comment. I was wondering why I have it and he didn't. So that would explain it. It's a duality cup. Okay. I kept thinking it was some kind of milestone car because it sits in my garage like a milestone car.
What, do you have like a special spot for milestone cars?
No, just, you know, unless they're really good, they just sit there. Because I organize them by the order that I received them.
Gotcha.
And they just sit under Porsche. So the way it sits, it almost reminds me that it's like a milestone car. But I don't see a related showdown actually.
What Wenpu says is event showdown hard. I mean, it's going to be the same as any showdown. He who has the fastest car wins. I mean, there's no matchmaking in showdowns other than if you've got 100 trophies and your car runs a 30-second half mile and the other guy has 100 trophies and runs a quarter-second half mile, they're still going to match you guys together. So,
yeah, and you're still going to lose. So the hardest events for showdown, the most participated ones are the ones that gives a prize car. Okay, and you can bet that there's going to be showdowns involved with this series. And will they be hard on the first few days? Absolutely, it's gonna be tough. And a lot of people are gonna want that E30, so that's gonna definitely be a tough showdown.
Deanne says Hot Wheels lost their contact with Ferraris years ago over money. I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
So, anyway, the point is, people want what they want, right? And this game's advantage is that it offers so many cars. And going back to your earlier comment about the programming of the cars, I was told at one point, and I'm not sure how correct this information is, but it did come from Mill, that they only have one guy programming the shift patterns for all these cars. So if a car is good or bad, it has a lot to do with that guy's mood.
Yeah, I like this car. Let's make it good. Koenigsegg. It's a Koenigsegg. Let's make it awesome. Or, it's a Porsche.
Man,
I'm not
that
a
guy
fan
must
of
hate
Porsche.
Porsches.
He must.
Or he tried to buy a Porsche and Porsche dealership snubbed him. He's like, oh man, all right. Just wait till you guys get into my game. I'm going to get you. So
it very well could be something like that. It's hard to say these
Dave,
days.
welcome. Yeah.
Dave Black, what's up, buddy?
I mean, that's how you could, if you were to try to get back at Porsche for anything, right? That's the only way you could get back at them in the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you guys didn't give me that allocation for that GT3 RS I really wanted for $50. okay, here's what you're gonna get. But I don't get it. I mean, we have literally very, very few Porsches that are even usable. I don't get that. I mean, we have so many cool Porsches in this game, and I'm not even a Porsche guy. And I say we have a lot of cool Porsches that I wish was better. So now this M3 Sport Evolution, I really want it to be good. As Millen would always jump in and say, Max is not a tier 4 lover. Max does not tune tier 4s. He ignores them, which I don't strongly disagree with. But there are certain tier 4s that really, make me perk up. Like, ooh, that's a cool car. I want to mess with that. So, and the M3 is definitely one of them. So I'm hoping it doesn't suck.
Comment says he must hate BMWs, Mercedes, and Porsche.
He probably drives a Skoda. That's why.
So the good news is there's a couple good BMWs, there's a couple good Porsches, and what was the other one you said? I already forgot. Mercedes. Are there any good Mercedes in the game? I can't recall any offhand.
There are a few usable ones. I mean, I wouldn't call the M3 Sport's going to be a great car, actually. Nitro finally updated the account with the cars.
Nice. Yeah, I messaged him yesterday. I'm like, hey, man, any chance we can get another update? He's like, yeah,
I just realized.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, David. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, he was like, well, actually, it was 2 days ago. He's like, I'll update it tomorrow. I said, thank you. So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
He kept his word. I'm looking at the M3 Sport, and I like it.
I think you just got to message him and remind him, or he forgets. But,
I hate badgering
Nitro is very, very busy. Nitro's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got a lot of those accounts to keep up with. So, I mean, you do got to remind him sometimes. Like, I have 2 content accounts I can get on. So, but I do like giving Nitro shout outs too. So I like to be able to use both accounts for the videos. Because, I mean, Asho and Nitro have both helped me out a lot on accounts like that, so we can make videos for you guys, which is pretty awesome.
Or at least test out the cars and give you guys some good starting info on whether these things are going to be worth all that resources to get.
Yes.
So, and I'm telling you right now, guys, this 1990 M3 Sport Evolution, I'm going to be fighting for that thing because it's a good car. I mean, by the numbers, it's looking like it's going to be solid. Now, fully maxed, it may or may not be solid, but without even going fully maxed, this thing is, it's great. If it beats Dino on top of it, it's going to be a hell of a beast.
Like, I definitely have a link in all of my videos description. Always have a link to Nitro and Asho's channel. I think Max's channel is in there as well. Pretty sure I have a link to all three of those in my videos description, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the G63 is pretty decent. I've had mine built, but it suffers from the problem of not having like the best lobby advantage sometimes, and it can get bumped because I think it runs a little under dyno if you shift it right. Let me see if this M3.
Yeah, I hope I have the cars for the M3 because I would like to get it. I don't know if it's good yet, but I would like to have it. I love the old school boxy cars.
Yeah, this, like how you like this little Ford, I love this little M3. This is one of my favorite, BMWs of all time. So definitely.
I still have a little bit of bias against BMW because, like, around here, the type of people that drive BMWs are like the rich, snooty people that don't really know much about cars, but they just go buy a BMW to look like they're fancy or whatever. So now, if you're out there buying like an M4 or like, if you're buying like a really awesome BMW, yeah, but like just general BMWs, like the cheaper ones, I don't know. I don't know. They bother me.
Hey, Paul Dog's asking a question. Let me scroll back up. I don't know. I think I missed the champion Porsche. They might have ripped them off. That's funny. A decent question. Yeah, go ask the question, man. That's why we're here. How come one of my accounts gets a cooldown skips on daily races if I watch an ad and my other account doesn't? You're supposed to be able to get a rerun watching an ad, not a cooldown skip for daily races. So
I've never seen a cooldown skip.
That might be like a glitch in your favor, to be honest.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, if you lose, you should be able to watch a video so you can race it again right away. But I've never seen a cooldown skip.
Yeah, cooldown.
Does anybody else have that? That would be kind of nice, actually.
Sure, yeah, right? I mean, I would love to have that, but
unless that's something they just recently added and only some people have it for beta testing or something. Huh. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Oh. Interesting.
William D says skip up to an hour, so William D must have it as well.
Well, maybe it does skip an hour. I just never paid attention to it.
Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I don't really look. I just run the race and then I X out of it really quick. So maybe that's something we all have, and I just haven't looked at it. I'm not very observant when I'm not looking for things, especially when it's just like a little single race thing like that. I'm just trying to race it and be done with it real quick.
Yep.
All right, so
to me the daily thing is just something I do daily. I mean, I literally run it maybe once a day. I don't even pay attention.
Same here. I do it about once a day if I can remember. Some days I forget about it completely. There's certain things when you've been playing this long, sometimes you start to slack on a couple of things here and there. But
so the Prestige Cup, when it starts on next Thursday, the coming Thursday, right? And then it doesn't end until end of the season. You have until like the last day almost to run it.
So yeah, basically a season starts on Thursdays. So every other week you have a new season. Season lasts for 2 weeks. So on a Thursday the season starts. The following Thursday you have the Prestige Cup, and then the Thursday after that is a new season again. And I'm pretty sure it does last till the last day. So you probably have until Thursday of next week to finish it. Wednesday or Thursday, something like that.
So I think a lot of guys are going to be disappointed with this E30's performance fully maxed because it's only like a 10-second car. But I don't care about fully maxed. I like this car. And this BMW is when BMW still lived up to the slogan of the ultimate driving machine. They've sort of lost a little bit of that since then, but you know, they're at one point in the 90s and 80s. I mean, BMWs were the ultimate driving machine. They were just phenomenal. Nowadays, I mean, they're still fast. Don't get me wrong, but they're very fast. Just not, in my opinion, living up to the ultimate driving machine slogan anymore.
Yeah, you have to get the right one to have the ultimate driving machine.
I mean, like the M4 competition, that's still a monster of a car, but the one I like right now is the M2 competition.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
But not the new one. The new one's ugly. I can't stand the look of it.
I haven't seen the latest one.
Oh, you didn't miss anything.
We have a guy in my neighborhood that has like I don't know if it's an M2 or an M3, but we got a guy that drives around here in one of those. And I'm telling you what, that is a cool car. Really cool car.
Yeah, I don't like the new grill. So they kind of ruined it for me when they put the
big giant
yeah
front ends.
Yeah, the big pig nose look.
They look really weird. I agree with you. If that's what the new one looks like, I wouldn't buy one just because of that.
The new M2 is weird because they made it really squarish and they made it bigger and square. So it looks like a round car wearing square skirts. The body kits you used to see on 1990s Japanese cars from like Bomex. You know, Bomex used to make these weird body kits that are all blocky looking. I was like, what the hell is BMW thinking? You know, they make, if you're gonna try to do a throwback to the 90s kind of design, then go square all around. But don't make like half the car round and half the car square. It looks weird. They're still gonna sell like hotcakes, but just not for me. You know. But the M2 competition we have in this game, that's the one I like. I like that look. It was like well designed. Little tall. I mean, it would have been nice if it was shorter, or lower. But hey, that looks good. So.
Yeah, I don't have either one of the cars for the Turbo Tails.
Oh, come on, Danny. Well, time to burn up some gold keys.
I'm thinking about it. If that Porsche is good, I'm gonna try that out in the next couple of days and find out if that thing is good. We got 2 days. We got. What's that?
I'll tell you right now, since I'm looking at it.
All right.
I'll give you Max the Gamer's opinion on that car.
All right, let's find out what Max has to say.
Max says,
"Please don't say that it's a turd taco, because if it's good, I will use my keys to get those cars and level them up, because I love me some Porsches. But if it sucks, I'm just gonna skip it."
Fingers crossed, man. I mean, I don't want it to suck. Me
neither.
I would like to have one Porsche I can take into live and scare people with, but
that would be awesome.
It would be awesome, man. I could be in 12s. I'm okay. I don't need to be in 9s. Well, it's a 7.2 fully max car on the dyno, so that's not a good sign. But that doesn't mean it's going to be bad in the slower lobbies. It's just not a good sign for.
Gerard, what's up, buddy? He says, my 2 favorite CSR2 is Max and Danny. Well, thank you. Glad you like our channels, buddy.
And look at this. You get both of us for the price of one. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Every so often.
2 for 1.
It's like a discount package. You know, once in a while, we have a 2 for 1 sale, and both of us are on here. Okay,
and the best part is it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's so cheap, you get it for free. All right. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be okay. It might be the first Porsche we're actually gonna see more often in live.
Nice.
Now I'm excited. I'm gonna give you my take on this soon, but probably not
So
today.
what's the PP in the Evo? How high is the PP?
All right, the PP needs to be low. Like, like I just dropped off a bunch of cars just to see. I haven't even tuned it yet. But you're looking at about with the basic TNT style setup, but with stage 6s, mind you. 631, 1983. Now, 1983 is high, okay? 1963, sorry, not 83. The problem here, of course, is like many Porsches, I can't tune this for more points. It's already maxed out by part, not by tune, which kind of, you know, that always bothers me when I can't squeeze it for a little more. But let me see how it runs. Now, if it also runs slightly under dyno, that's always a cool thing to have.
Yeah, the
it's
Supra.
basically it's basically not tunable. I just ran dyno without trying to figure out a shift pattern, so that's not a bad sign. But it basically goes to 2.0 final drive almost immediately, and therefore you don't have the ability to do much with it. And the reason they did that is because they don't want you to get the Dyno Buster tune on it.
What time's on the dyno?
Dyno's 11.202 with a 631 performance point, and it ran at 11.202 when I drove it just now. So.
Good. That should do pretty well then. It may not be like one of the best live racers, but that usually means it's going to be very good.
Yeah, it's like a B level. You know, if we were going to go from other games tier rating style, like S, A, B, C, D, I would say it'd be like a A to B level live racer if it can get some lobby advantage. Most likely B. A lot of these cars tend to be decent with low upgrades or kind of B. Yeah, as soon as you add other stuff, the Evo drops, so that's not a good sign. Yeah, so it's only good with probably minimal upgrades, unfortunately.
So JP,
no.
I think the Roush Mustang, the one we just got, it might win a few live races without the stage 6 part, but I think it's going to do way better with the stage 6 part. It looks like it's probably going to be a decent, from the numbers and the way it performs, I expect it to be decent, but not phenomenal. So I don't think it's going to be great on stage 5, but I think it'll be kind of so on stage 5.
Yeah, I do want to curb you guys' enthusiasm real quick. Without stage 6s, and you need probably body trans and tire to really get really good Evo out of this car, it loses 400 plus Evo, so it's only like 600. In fact, it gains performance point when I drop to stage 6, which is weird, but it's not uncommon. And it lowered the Evo a lot, so now it's not a good car. It's just, you know, you need stage 6s, unfortunately, and you're probably going to need all 3 of them to really shine.
And the problem there is that's going to be paid crates.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's a purple star car.
So if that's the case, I'm probably just going to skip it.
Get the car. Get the car. Come on. You know they're going to put this into other parts of the event, so you may have other chances to lock it in for the free crates.
Yeah,
and all you need is, you know... so the one that lowers performance point on the stage 6 side is trans.
Huh.
Oh, and body. They both lower it. Interesting. So if you put both trans and body in, you actually lower your performance point by almost 7 points.
That's weird.
I've seen that quite often recently. It's just something, the way they did it.
Very strange.
Let me give you the exact number of points. I don't want to lie here because I'm just eyeballing it without really looking at it. So it went from 646 to 638. So that's what? 8 points. Lowers it by 8 points.
All right, so John, you're talking about the FFX Evolution Ferrari. That's not really a great car, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure that's just like all the other FFX cars. It's got a machine gun shift pattern, and it's a real nasty pain in the butt to drive. So I don't think that's really going to be
Stradale. Stradale. Did I win that car already? Wasn't that one of the first leg events, or is that a new one? No, that's a new car. Okay, never mind. Let me see. SF90XX. What's the one I just won? I know it looks like the FX. It looks just like this car. Hold on, let me check. I have to be sure.
Melon says it's okay.
Oh, so no, that's Melon, the car I won that car.
Melon says he doesn't hate it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. I've got it settled now, so it actually does okay. So it is one of the possible live racers for Ferrari. You know, again, not with a lot of upgrades, just some upgrades. Let's see. So the Porsche, unfortunately, without stage 6s, it won't be any good. But with stage 6s, it's decent. But it won't be good in really fast lobbies. It'll only be good in like 10s, 11s, maybe. So that's my opinion of the Porsche. Take it for what it's worth. Now, if you have all 3 stage 6s for body, tire, and trans, your ratios are pretty good. I mean, you have, now you're looking at well over 1-to-3 ratio for Evo versus performance point. That's a pretty decent ratio. So that could work. But again, not tunable. There's no real tuning involved with this car. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building it to a dyno. So let's say you don't want to land in certain dynos, and when you add the parts, that's the dyno you get. So what you're going to have to do is add another part just to get to the dyno you want, even if the Evo doesn't look as good. So that's going to be how that car's going to have to get built. Yeah, I'm not saying this is a terrible Porsche, William. I think it's actually decent. It's good enough. That's exactly my point. It's good enough, Melon. That's, you know. I guess I have to dig into my gaming account again to try to see if I can get the right stage 6s. All right. So that, yeah. So are you still there, Danny?
Nope.
I'm hiding.
All right. So April through May, there's actually going to be 4 events for 90s Rewind: the Backtrack, the Turbo Tails, the Formula Ace, and the Retro Revival. I don't know what the lock-ins are, but the next one is going to be for the BMW M3, and then the last one is going to be the Porsche 911 GT. But then there's going to be episode 3, which has 4 events, and there's going to be a finale, which has 3 events. So there's 11 events total from the 90s Rewind. But yeah, I don't know what any of the lock-ins are.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out when we get there. I'm sure some other guys can data mine that information and tell us.
Probably.
So
some of those guys, I noticed there's a couple channels. I'm not sure how they're able to get the information as early as they do, but there are a few channels on YouTube that get stuff like crazy early.
Yeah, that's true.
And they even have they can even see it on their map and see the lock-ins. I don't know how they data mine that far ahead, because
I think they really artificially advanced the clock or something. There used to be CSR Turkey that used to do that for years, and then now it's only certain individuals doing it. But
yeah,
okay. I see a question from Dave Black, so let me hit that before it scrolls out of sight. So he said, I'm in a lobby with the dyno of 11.6. Do you think dyno of 11.58 will be in the same lobby? So it's a little tricky with that, because it depends on your actual lobby, where you land in the row of cars that are there. The way to test that is look for the guy next to you, right? Leave the lobby, change your dyno to 11.58, go back and see if you're still facing the same guy. If you are, you're still within that range. If you change to a different group of players, then obviously you were already on the edge of that grouping, and it moved
also,
you. So It's car
If you
dependent. And, yeah. Go ahead.
Also, if you run the car at 11.6 and don't beat it, you have a better chance of staying in the 11.6 lobby too.
Right. Right. I mean, if you're running really slow, let's say you've been running, say, 11.8, and then you bump your dyno up, you should still stay in that lobby. Okay, I see Tom's giving you answer as well. So, again, there's a PP limit that you have to look at. There's your runtime average, and then there's basically how many players are available right now to give you the lobbies to stick around in. This is sometimes you feel like you're stuck in one lobby. That's what it is. It's you're just stuck because there's not enough players and there's no other places to go. Okay.
Thanks, Melon. So yeah, we have a question about the 2023 M4 CLS, and Melon says, very good. That is a very nice car. Thank you, Melon.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Melon's a very good. If Melon tells you something's good, that means it's definitely good. I mean, he's very picky about live racing cars, and if it's not like excellent, he's not going to say that it's good, usually. Even some stuff that I consider good, he says sucks. He likes the cars that just dominate completely. I like the cars that are at least decent to dominate, right?
Yeah. We have a little higher standard for live racing cars. I think Melon and I expect more out of a car than just being able to win like 50 to 70% of the races. We're looking at the 99 percentile cars. So,
yeah. So, John, no, none of the cars that you can buy with real money are going to beat Tempest 3 Tier 4. So, what you have to do, you got to have patience in this game. You're going to have to wait till you get a really good car out of a crate and then upgrade that. Because in order to beat the last Tempest race, you have to do 0 to 60 in like 1.374. And you have to do over 260 miles per hour. And there's not a lot of Tier 4 cars that can do both of those. I mean, we're getting to the point where there's more and more that can, but a lot of the older cars cannot do both. A lot of the newer cars, I should say some of the newer cars can, so you got to find the right car. So that's one thing you got to be really patient on. Don't try and rush through that. Now, Tempest 1 and Tempest 2 is not that bad, but Tempest 3 Tier 4 is the hardest of all of them, so you do have to have the right car for that. And the Tier 4 cars that you can buy with Game Cash, none of them are really that great. I mean, they're great for a starter car just to get you going, but you will outgrow those, and they're not going to beat the Tempest, unfortunately.
Your LC500 will not make that final sprint.
Nope.
If it's talking about Tempest. Yeah.
I think he said he eluded it, though, so.
Oh.
That was a good choice to
all
elite.
The other challenges. It's a good elite because it's a great live racer, so why not?
Yeah. Great live racing car.
All right, so I have to complain, and Millen will understand when I complain about this. The programmer that's doing these new cars tuning is getting lazy.
Yes.
So none of the new cars are tunable.
The only thing I like about that is the cars that are like that, normally the stage 5 and stage 6 tune are the same. That does make it easy, but not being able to tune a car really comes with some drawbacks when it comes to different types of things you're trying to do.
Yeah, when your tune is automatically right, left, and nothing else works to help it, it's not fun. I mean, it's not that I dislike the car, they're still good cars, but when they set them up like that, basically it becomes a part selection build versus tuning. There is no tuning. 2.0 final drive, 0-100 tire, nitrous all the way to the right, done. I mean, that's not tuning.
So John, if you happen to pull this Lamborghini Urans Performante out of the crates, it looks like that one is able to beat Tempest. I mean, there's a lot of them that can. I also have like a how to drive playlist on my channel that shows how to drive all these different cars. And the tier 4 ones, when I do the review part, as long as I remembered, I always try and test those tier 4 cars to see if they can beat the Tempest times. And I always mention that in there. So if you have a certain tier 4 car you're looking for, just look up Danny Lightning and the name of the car. And then during the review part, it will most likely tell you, unless it's one of the older videos where I didn't do that yet. But over the last like probably 3 years, I've been testing them out on the Tempest for tier 4 during the review.
Yeah, so I think the guy is overwhelmed. Is more likely the case. The amount of cards they're putting out and as quick as they're putting out the events. Imagine if you were given an assignment. All right, make different tunes for all these 50 cars in the next 2 months. What do you think he's gonna do? Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Yeah, come on. That's probably why they all tune the same way. Because he's gonna be like, hey, you want this car? Sure, I'll give it to you tomorrow, boss. No problem.
Right. Hold on. What's the audio glitch, guys? They're saying they're hearing an audio glitch. What's going on with the... It's when Melon talks? You mean Max? What? You're hearing like his voice is messed up or what? Let me throw in my headphones if I can. Where's my other headphones? Let me see what's going on. Max, start talking for a second.
I'm talking. What's up? Do I sound like a monkey? Do I sound like Mickey Mouse? What's going on here? I hope I don't sound too funny. I mean, I can help my nose and talk a little differently. Does that help?
Yeah, you're glitching out. Unless we have to see if that's going to persist or if that's going to end. I have the... Sorry, I can't hear you right now, Max, so hopefully I'm not talking over you, but the way I reset up the things so Discord has its own volume, and sometimes weird stuff happens there. Go ahead and talk again, Max. Let's see what happens.
All right, so I'm looking at the Nismo GT3, decent car as well. So we have a lot of good cars coming. It looks like a lot of decent cars. Nothing crazy tunable, but so click and skip over top. I mean, I am clicking my mouse. I don't know if that's what you're hearing. Sounds good now? Okay. All right. Good deal.
I'm actually going to go over to the OBS Discord server. So this is a deal where you have the applications each getting their own audio, so they each have a volume. Periodically, one of them will glitch out and they'll start making these clicking sounds. So I'm actually, when the stream's over, I'm actually going to go over there and post it and be like, hey, can you tell me why this is happening at this specific time? And I'm going to tell them it only happens when you have like the individual audio capture. So maybe they'll figure out a way to fix that or something. That's why I normally don't give each thing their own volumes, but it looks like it's no longer in beta on some of these, so I thought it would probably work now. But yeah, I'm going to go over there and see why that's happening, see if somebody can give me a good answer or if anybody knows how to fix that. But I think it's actually a glitch on OBS itself, but it'll do that for a while to get all crackly and weird. And then after maybe like 30 seconds or maybe a minute, it clears up and goes back to normal. So yeah, that's an unfortunate thing that happens.
So question came up, are there any good tier 3 live racers? I can't really tell you because I rarely ever go into tier 3. I'm sure there's something in there that dominates, but my feeling is the tier 2s tend to dominate in the slower tier 3, tier 2 lobbies. And then the best tier 3 probably is the one that's the fastest in the lobby for tier 3. So
yeah, a couple of those new BMWs that are tier 3 do pretty well at live racing. Yeah. But like someone just mentioned, the M2 G87 is a really, really good live racer. But there's not a lot of good live racing tier 3 cars. Most of them are just kind of so-so or horrible at live for some reason.
Yeah, well, tier 3, tier 2s are mixed together, so you got to understand that tier 2s with high evo tend to get some lobby advantage. And all cars in tier 3 and tier 2 and tier 1 already has built-in 0.2 lobby advantage anyway. So, beating Dino by 0.2 and having lobby advantage by 0.2 isn't very meaningful in that grouping. You really want to have like half a second of advantage to really have true advantage in there, which by then you should be able to win pretty easily. But I'm really in tier 3 lobby, so I'm gonna defer to other people on that. The other one that how to get Noros Toyota Supra, that's the elite tuner, final price, you have to fully elite all the rest of them. Isn't that the way you get it? Or is that
You know
even
what?
available yet?
I don't think I have that car. I mean, you can get the Mark IV Supra. That's not Noros, is it? The Mark IV?
Oh, that's not Noros. No, I think that might be something later in the events.
I'm
That's
not sure that you can get that. That might be one of those unavailable cars.
Yeah, I think maybe at the end of all the Elite Tuner event chain, if they ever decide to go and finish it, that's probably when they'll pop up. Or maybe in the next series, it'll pop up.
If you can get if you can get it, I don't remember how, but I don't think it's available. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've never seen that car in live racing or anything. So I don't think that car exists for the regular player. So guys, we only got a couple more minutes left on the live stream. So if you guys got some last minute questions, make sure you get them in really quick because this stream is just about over for the day. Amelia's BMW is a pretty decent car overall. I mean, it's still not like great, but it's probably one of the better older live racers. I remember it doing well last time I live raced it, but that was so long ago, I'm not really sure if it's still going to be good at live racing. But I remember it being kind of okay back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have access to the car in my main account, I don't really look too deep into it. So, it's nice to know some of the coming stuff is going to be decent, but I usually try to only focus on stuff that I actually have access to and have some parts for.
Michikitsu does not have the Akula. I'm not sure if I have that either. I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure. Ah, John got the Urus on the 4th go. Nice, man. If you get it on pull number 4, that's pretty good. I kind of look at it this way. I think you can normally make about 10... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you can normally get about 8 to 10 pulls worth of keys every season if you play the game daily and do everything that gives you the keys. So if you get in less than 10, that's good. If it takes over 10, that sucks. But if you get in the first like 5 or 6 pulls, that's usually pretty darn good.
Yeah, anything under I think anything under 10 pulls is actually pretty decent. So, if you can get it for less than 5, then you lucked out.
How to get more money. All right, so to get game cash, basically, there's only really one good way to do it, and it's to take the highest tier car you have, because the higher the tier car, the more money it earns when you win a live race, and just win race after race after race, and it slowly accumulates. Now, if you're doing the bigger events and stuff, those normally have bigger cash prizes. So basically just completing events, if you can afford it. Some events will cost you real money, unfortunately. But do all the events that you can and just race a lot, and your money will slowly accumulate. I mean, I've been saving the 134 million I have. That's about almost 3 years worth of being really stingy with my resources and saving and only trying to upgrade one car per season at the most. So if you're a new player, it's really hard to save because you're going to have to upgrade the cars for the Tempest races, the Legends, the Elite Tuners, all kinds of stuff. So probably the first year and a half I played this game, maybe even the first 2 years, it was really hard to save anything because there were so many cars I had to upgrade. Then eventually, after I got through most of that, I was able to start saving, and then for me, eventually, that's when Elite Tuners came, and I dumped almost all the money I'd saved on Elite Tuners, and then I had to resave again after that. So, yeah, it's a pain in the butt. There's no good way to get it fast unless you're spending real money. So John says, should I lock in my Urus Performante for Tempest 1 Tier 4? You got to make sure you have enough parts on it, right? That's the thing. You got to have enough parts for it. So if you don't have parts, you're going to need to get some. So one thing you can do if you have bronze keys saved up, let me go demonstrate this really fast. Whatever car you're currently in, if it has golden stars, you can just go over to the rare imports and you can open keys to get parts for that car. So let me move into a car that's got golden stars really quick. All right, let's just say I need parts for my Juke. I can go to rare imports. I'm going to find the little tab that says parts right here, and whatever car I'm currently driving or currently in, there's going to be crates for that particular car. So that's the best way to get parts for a car, but it will take you roughly somewhere between for about 15 to 20,000 bronze keys, which will probably take you a couple months to save up. You can get all the stage 6 parts and the majority of the fusions. You'll probably still be short a couple of pink fusions. I mean, you might, after about 20,000 bronze keys, you're probably going to have 90% of the parts. And then you might spend 30, 40, 50,000 bronze keys just to get those last couple of parts. So, I mean, you're not going to have the Urus completely maxed, but you're definitely going to need to have it very highly upgraded. So that's the problem with Tempest, is you do need to have a lot of parts on the car. So this game takes patience. I mean, it took me almost 8 to 9 months to finish the 3rd Tempest. But for Tempest 1, you're definitely not going to need as many parts for it. But you will need some, right? You're definitely going to need some cars. But the Urus is a pretty decent car overall, so it's definitely one that's worth getting out of the crates. You can set it up for live racing and eventually run Tempest with it once you get enough parts. So it's definitely a good car to have pulled. Fadu says, thanks for the swaps. Yeah.
If you're pulling for stage 6 from crates, it's random. And the event crates tend not to give you duplicates, but the bronze crates can definitely continuously give you duplicates.
So this is what I noticed. Like, if you can pull all 7 in a row, you're not going to get a duplicate out of the crates. Now, let's just say you've already got a couple of stage 6 parts, and then you go into the crates. You may get a part that you already have, but 7 loyalty rewards on the crates will be 7 different parts. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I've always noticed it to work. But if I go in there, let's just say I have a stage 6 transmission. If I go in there with that already and start pulling, it could give me another stage 6 transmission. But it kind of sucks. All right, so Max is breaking up again. Crap.
I'm breaking up again?
Yeah, like I said, the streaming software has that weird issue. I'm gonna have to go see if there's a way to fix this, because that's a big pain in the butt. If there's no way to fix it, I'll just have to put all the audio back to normal. This is so much better this way because CSR has its own volume, the music has its own volume, Max has its own volume. Everything's got its own volume slider like this, but it does cause that stupid glitch.
Ah, okay. So that's what's causing the problem with my voice.
Yeah. Like I said, this used to be in beta testing, but they don't have this listed as a beta feature anymore. So I figured whatever glitches were in it must be fixed, but I guess they haven't fixed that. That sucks. Alright, so Dodgy wants to know if the Dodge Challenger Super Stock is good for all of Tempest. Challenger Super Stock.
Is that a tier 4?
Challenger
Or is that tier
Super
5?
Stock. Trying to remember which car that is. The Challenger Drag Pack, now that one's good for it. I'm not familiar with the Super Stock offhand. There's a few different Challenger type of cars in the game.
I do recall one of the tier 4 Challengers is good enough. The Charger is.
The Charger that we got for free a while back is really good.
Yeah. The Charger tier 4 should be able to do it. I'm not so sure about the Challenger Super Stock, though.
I'm not sure either. So if you look up the world record time on that car, or if you even just go to YouTube and type in that car, just type in CSR and the name of the car, you'll be able to you'll find somebody doing a maxed out shift pattern video on that, where you can find out how fast the car runs. So that will be a good way to figure it out, as long as you know the boss times. I'll give you guys a link to my boss time sheet. Hopefully you guys can view this. This is pretty accurate, right? This is within like give or take 1/10 of a second of the boss times, it still should be pretty accurate. So right there, that's a link to my boss time sheet. And if you want to see the world record sheet of the cars and the times they run, I'll post a link to that as well. And then you can kind of reference check those because, yeah, we don't remember on that one. We just don't remember. But guys and girls, our stream time is about up for the day.
All right, Danny.
Did you say that's a tier 3? Is that what you said?
No, I mean, I'm looking at 9.3 was the time that comment warrior put up. Then it's we're either talking about tier 5 or tier 3. It's not tier 4. 9.3 is very fast for tier 4.
Yeah. There's only a couple cars that can do 9.3s. Actually, the fastest tier 4 car goes about... The fastest tier 4 car is a 9.352. And that's the Mustang Dorkhouse. There, I said it again. I don't do that intentionally.
It's a tier 5, yeah, that's okay. So I wouldn't necessarily focus on tier 5 using that. But hey, one last little self-promotion here. Again, my crew needs 2 people. If anybody's interested, reach out to me, all right? I'm pretty available on Messenger, so.
And also make sure you check out Max on YouTube if you haven't. If you haven't already, go to his channel and subscribe. Max has some great content as well for you guys. So,
thanks, Danny.
Yeah, no problem.
And as always, thank you for inviting me and letting me be part of the stream. We'll set this up again, hopefully soon. I will keep looking at my schedule. Whenever I can do it, I'll be happy to try to join you.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're free, let me know, man. You're always welcome to join. You know, if we can do it like every couple of weeks or once a month or once every other month, whatever, that would be great.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on always on my weekend schedules to see if I can just join you without interruption. I enjoyed it as much as anybody, so always a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching our videos and hanging out with us on the live stream and all that good stuff. So thank you. Huge shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for the extra support. Moderators, thank you. We appreciate you guys a lot. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful day and we will catch you next time. All right? Lighten it out. I'm waiting for Max the Gamer to yell Max out or something.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta scream
have
Max
a good
the
one,
Gamer.
everyone.
That's your outro? Oh man, that was disappointing.
It is disappointing. You put me on the spot. You put me on the spot. I wasn't ready.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We will catch you next time. See you later. All right.